America, we are back, baby. Welcome to another episode of America Unfiltered with James Pascalides. We got a great show for you tonight, everyone. We don't have a ton to talk about. It's been a painfully slow news day, but we do have some things to go over. It is the 1 month anniversary of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. We will talk about Charlie Kirk a bit today. I also want to talk about a couple weird phenomenons that are happening on X right now. I'm noticing a couple different patterns that I really want to talk about. The other day, as I was going over my headlines towards the end of my show, I realized that my feed was full of pro-Israel content. And immediately in my head, you guys can even go back and watch it, I said it to the camera, I said that I'm pretty sure it's just because I respond to a lot of, Zionist accounts debating and arguing against them. And then another weird thing happened. Multiple big creators in the alt-right space today and yesterday and over the last few days have been tweeting out, is your feed filled with pro-Israel Zionist content? It seems like X is pushing this on purpose. We're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about, as well, this Qatari airbase that's happening. I'm not a huge supporter of it, just because I don't want more Muslims coming into this country, obviously. But there's something interesting about it. All the Zionists, all the Jews in the media, all the, major Jewish players in the political space who were so pro-Trump. I mean, outstandingly pro-Trump. The Epstein files didn't change their feelings on Trump. Bombing Iran didn't change their feelings on Trump. They supported the genocide. Obviously didn't change their feelings on Trump. But now that Trump is allowing, I don't know if it's Qatar or Qatar. People pronounce it different ways. I'm going to say Qatar. But now that Trump is announcing this Qatar airbase in the United States, all of them are turning. Like that. Mark Levin is turning. Ben Shapiro's turning. Laura Loomer, that dumb bitch, is turning. So we're going to talk about that today. I'm going to show you guys some X posts. Like I said, it's not going to be a crazy long show today. It's going to be a shorter show. We're going to go over this stuff, react to some stuff, and then we'll go over the comments. It's really been one of the most painfully fucking slow news days. There's been nothing going on. Really nothing. The only other story, and I was hoping more details would come up about this, but nothing really did, but the only other story there really would be to talk about is what's going on with Antifa in these leftist states. And the real biggest story from that is what they're planning this weekend. Allegedly, Antifa members in Portland, in Chicago, in these major cities where there's ICE raids going on, they plan to shine laser pointers at all the helicopters and planes that fly over the area in protest. So we'll talk about that a little bit today, but there's really not too much to talk about with that because we haven't got a lot of details and I don't want to just speculate and over-report on things where I'm just speaking out of my ass. But we do have a lot of good things to talk about today. We're going to get into the show. I do want to, really quick before we get into all the news, like I said, it's the 1 month anniversary of the Charlie Kirk assassination. I don't want to talk about any of the conspiracy with it. We've been talking about the Candace angle, what she's investigating. We've been talking about, all the different theories here and there over the last few weeks. But for the 1 month anniversary, I just want to take a little bit of time to talk about Charlie, talk about his impact, and talk about the legacy he has now left behind. I was somebody who was inspired by Charlie Kirk. I was somebody who, when I first got political, I was someone who would just repeat all the GOP talking points. And that's what Charlie is. Charlie is the GOP talking points. That's what Turning Point USA was. Charlie was someone who was an excellent debater. Although I disagreed with him on some topics, I think Charlie was, the voice of a generation in a way. Even though I disagreed with him, he still spoke for people like me. Young men like me who have been left behind in this country by our government. Our government doesn't give a shit about Gen Z, Gen Alpha, millennials. We talk about this all the time. It is one of the biggest things we talk about on this show is how Gen Z, Gen Alpha, millennials have just been left behind completely. Charlie Kirk was a voice for people like us, especially young white men, Christian young white men, people who felt completely displaced in society. You can't walk up to a Jew and say something negative. Up until recently, you couldn't walk up into a Muslim and say something negative. But for, a lot of time in the United States here for decades and decades, you've been able to just walk up to Christians and say whatever the fuck you want, disrespect their religion, do whatever you want, and there was no repercussions for it. Charlie Kirk made it cool again to be Christian. He brought people back to the church. He introduced people back to the Bible and to Christ. I think that's really important, and I think that is the legacy that Charlie wanted to leave behind, if anything. Not only the legacy of, hey guys, use your free speech, use your voice, use the platform of debate to communicate with issues, but he also wanted to leave behind the legacy of the fact that he was a man of God, and his mission was not just to run this massive political organization and be friends with Trump and Don Jr. and, become Bitcoin rich. His goal was to promote the word of Christ, to promote the word of our Lord and Savior. And that's something that we can all really appreciate. That's something that we can all look at, and we can all feel very proud of what Charlie Kirk did. We could all feel very I don't know. I'm trying not to get emotional. I looked up to Charlie a lot, even though I disagreed with him. But we can all feel very I don't know. We can all take a page out of his book to try and be better, I guess is the words I'm looking for. We can all take a chapter out of Charlie Kirk's book. If you don't agree with him on the Israel topic, so be it. I don't either. If you don't agree with him on everything, again, so be it. At the very least, what I ask of people is look at what he did to spread the word of Christ. And ultimately, that's the reason he was killed. It's not left versus right, although that is something we deal with. It's really good versus evil. And Charlie was the ultimate good in a lot of ways. Although he was spreading the word of Israel, which in a lot of ways, a lot of things they do are evil, Charlie Kirk's mission and his goal was not to spread the word of Israel. It was to spread the word of our Lord. And we all saw the texts about Charlie Kirk turning on the pro-Israel lobby. They were confirmed. That is a very big step for people like Charlie Kirk. And Nick Fuentes brought up a point that I really quickly want to bring up, and then I'll get back into talking about Charlie a bit. But Nick Fuentes brought up a point about, it's not like Charlie left the pro-Israel lobby. It's they basically abandoned him. They were like, you have to do all these things. You have to do all these things. You have to, they pushed him out. It's not, I don't know. That's one thing that I thought was really interesting, interesting perspective that Nick Fuentes brought up, that a lot of us weren't looking at it that way. And I think a lot more people should tune into Nick, because he does have these just insights. He has these thoughts and this thought process that a lot of us, we're either working to get or we'll just never have. So I think it's really important to tune into people like him, because he did give some great insight into that, a lot of things to think about. But Charlie's legacy is an important one. I mean, not only the legacy of his company, which we'll talk about here for a sec. He had about 3,500 turning point chapters across the country right before his assassination. And then after his assassination, there's been over 120,000 new requests. And that was from a couple weeks ago, so I'm sure it's even higher now. They're also getting an insane amount of donations. The Turning Point USA organization will live on. I don't love that Erica Kirk is taking it over. I think in the short term, it's a great symbolic move and gesture. But in the long term, in 2 years when she's still CEO, does that really make sense? Probably not. Charlie Kirk's legacy is one that we can all look at, and we can all thank the Lord that Charlie Kirk that he was an American, that he was a conservative, that he was on our side. Charlie Kirk was a man who was so skilled in debate that this man did not even go to college. This man graduated high school, did not go to college, and he traveled, and he took on the entire Oxford debate team. The balls on that fucking guy. I mean, the balls on Charlie Kirk to take on the entire Oxford debate team. Oxford. I mean, that's a prestigious university full of very smart kids. A lot of leftists, but very smart nonetheless. I mean, it is crazy what Charlie Kirk was able to accomplish in such a short period of time. He was only alive for 31 years. And when you think, that's so sad. I mean, that's only 5 years older than me. I'm 26 years old. I couldn't imagine my life ending in 5 years from now. It would feel like I missed out on so much. And I'm really sad that Charlie is gone. I feel the worst for his kids. And I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again, but We all look at Charlie Kirk as Charlie Kirk, the political commentator, Charlie Kirk, the aggressive moderate, Charlie Kirk, the debater. You know, people on the left look at him as like Charlie Kirk, the asshole. But to his kids, to his two little kids, his boy and girl, he was none of that. He was dad. He was their father. He was daddy. Like that's who he was to his little girl, his little baby girl and his little baby boy. And that's something that we all have to think about as well. I mean, I know we're all sad about Charlie Kirk's assassination. I know it had a huge impact on a lot of us. But I really want everyone, even still to this day, a month later, and then still a year from now, 5 years from now, I want everyone to continue to pray for his family. Pray for his children. Because having your father assassinated in such a brutally graphic way, where there's so many videos of it, they're all online, and I know these kids were so young, they're not looking online for these videos, but it's inevitable that they'll see them one day. And that's heartbreaking to think about, that they are going to see the video of their father losing his life. I want everyone to pray for them. I want everyone to pray for their recovery. I want everyone to pray for their lives, for their souls. I want everyone to pray for their health, for their happiness, for their stability in their mind. It's very important we do these things. It's very important we use the power of prayer. That's exactly what Charlie Kirk would have wanted. He would have wanted us to use the power of prayer. Charlie Kirk's lasting legacy will never go away. The media could stop talking about him forever, and we will never stop talking about him. The major media companies have pretty much already moved on. Most of them are not speaking about it at this point. Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, like, they're not bringing it up at all. Maybe they'll do like a little 1-minute thing here and there. They'll mention his name, but they're barely talking about it, which is really sad. We're going to continue to talk about this on this show because the impact this man had, especially for people my age, older people, boomers, they will never get it. They will never understand the impact this man had. He was able to voice our opinions in ways that we weren't able to. He was able to take our opinions and then beat leftists in debate with those opinions and give us ways to then use those arguments in our own debates. Charlie Kirk was able to make it so you could be conservative on a college campus and not feel like a total outcast. That you could be conservative in your high school and not feel like a total outcast, not feel like you're totally alone. You know, there was young Republicans and stuff like that, but Turning Point USA was a completely different thing. It really expanded what kids were able to accomplish and the things they were able to talk about in these mainly leftist spaces. Colleges are predominantly leftist. This is no, crazy. It's nothing crazy for me to say that, but as someone who went to college in the early stages of Turning Point, and then by the time I was leaving, Turning Point was growing more, and there was like Turning Point chapters, you could actually see and feel the difference on the campus. When I first got to college, it was a very, lot of liberals. If you wore a MAGA hat, you would get shit on. If you talked about Trump, if you talked about being anti-abortion, you talked about being Christian, shit on immediately. But then Turning Point rolled around. More people got involved. More people who were quiet used their voices. Charlie Kirk not only gave us the power to use our voices, but he encouraged us to do it. And that's, again, something we all need to think about a lot. We all need to, again, take a chapter out of Charlie Kirk's book. We all need to become Charlie Kirk in a way. We don't have to adopt his views, but we have to encourage more people to speak. We have to encourage more people to use their voice. We have to encourage more people, and again, I mean this in the most respectful way, but to put their life on the line for this country. Charlie Kirk put his life on the line for America, not just on the day he was assassinated, but every single day and every time that he went to these campuses, that he went on the news, that he did a podcast. Charlie Kirk did a lot to enable Americans, to conservative right-wing Americans, to... I'm losing my train of thought a little. Again, when I get emotional, it kind of happens. Like, when I say emotional, I don't mean like crying and shit. I just mean when you're talking about sad topics, you get like, not flustered, but you get, I don't even know the right word. Again, it's just brain fog, I guess, is the best way to put it. But Charlie Kirk inspired a generation of young Christian men to be better. He inspired a generation of young Christian women to be better. He inspired women who acted like sluts to find Jesus. He inspired men who acted like degenerates to find Jesus. Overall, the lasting legacy of Charlie Kirk, beyond his politics, beyond everything else, it should be the fact that he was a husband, a father, and a man of Christ. And he promoted all those things. He wanted people to get married. He wanted more people to have kids, and he wanted more people to get into church. And yes, he did want more people to join the conservative and Republican movement. But at the same time, we need to look at the bigger picture and see the really important things. I don't think that is nearly as important as the other things he accomplished. Having 2 beautiful children with his wife and bringing millions of young Americans back to the church. I mean, Gen Z is the first generation to be more religious than our parents and then millennials and then any other generation, really. It is beautiful what that man was able to accomplish. He single-handedly brought millions of people back to God. I'm not going to keep repeating myself. I know I am. Again, I'm getting like a lot of brain fog talking about this topic. I don't know, it happens to me when I speak about emotional things like this. It kind of gets to me. Especially with Charlie Kirk, I will never unsee that. I will never unsee Charlie Kirk's assassination. I'm thinking about it now that I'm saying that. I will never unsee that, you know. When our grandparents grew up and they watched JFK get a bullet to the head, we can kind of see how they feel. And it's almost 10 times worse. I get that was a president and it was probably a foreign nation who did it. I don't mean like the murder itself was worse, but what we saw, you know, we literally, again, I'm not going to get crazy graphic, but you guys know what we saw. We saw a very visual death, a very graphic, brutal visual death. JFK was like a blurry, shitty camera. So I actually think we got like a worse side of that. Not to compare the two, but I really just want to say, Charlie, I hope you are in heaven. I pray you are in heaven. I know Christ loved you. I pray for your children. I pray for your wife. I pray for the success of Turning Point USA. And I pray that anybody who is involved in this is not only able to find God, but I pray for their soul as well. As I've gotten more Christian, more Catholic, as I've gotten more back into the church and I'm strengthening my relationship with God, I've realized we do have to forgive these people and we do have to pray for them. It's not the right call to just immediately wish death upon this person, although that is our instincts and that's what I'd like to do. What we would like to do is not what needs to be done. We need to put our actions and intentions in alignment with the will of Christ, and that is not what Christ wants. So I'm going to move on from this topic. I do want to say, Charlie Kirk, rest in peace. We are going to pray for you. I'm urging all my viewers who are still listening, all my viewers who listen to the show, please pray for Charlie Kirk. Pray for his soul. Pray for his children. Pray that he's able to make it into heaven. Pray for his wife. Pray for all these things. I'm going to pray tonight too. Pray a decade of your rosary for him tonight. You know, that's something we could all do tonight. That would be really special on the 1 month anniversary. I do want to move on to other topics. I don't want to stay on this one topic for too long. I do want to talk about some of the things that have been happening on Twitter. I guess we'll talk about this Antifa thing and then we'll wrap up the show. Like I said, it's not going to be a crazy long show, but then we'll wrap up the show talking about the Qatar thing and the Jews in America who are just turning on Trump now. All the people who were literally yesterday saying Trump should get the Nobel Peace Prize are now saying, I'm not going to vote in 2026. It's absurd. We're going to talk about that today. I do want to talk about this Antifa thing real quick. It's not going to be long, but Antifa, it's the anti-fascist movement is what they call themselves. They are a left-wing anarchist group. You know, they were at the BLM riots, George Floyd riot. I guess that's the same thing, but the LA riots, they were at they're in Chicago, they're in Oregon, they're in Washington. Excuse me, I'm sorry about that. Just had a Diet Coke and it's getting to me here, getting burps. But yeah, so they are all over these major cities. You know, it's not like there's like a organizational headquarters or anything. They're a pretty loosely connected group, not very well organized, but they do mobilize quickly, and they are very destructive, very violent. You know, they assaulted Nick Sorter, and then Nick Sorter even got arrested because of how backwards these leftist places work. But the Antifa group is saying that they're going to meet up this weekend where the ICE raids are happening, and they are going to shine laser pointers into the cockpits of the planes and the helicopters that are going over. You know, they use helicopters to get people into these places quickly. What they are doing should be attempted murder. I mean, all these people need to be, every single person who shines a laser pointer needs to be declared a terrorist individually, and they need to arrest them. They need to not only arrest these people, but you need to throw away the fucking key. These people want to cause chaos. They want to cause violence. They don't have a place in our society. We need to remove them from our society. It is imperative to the success of this nation that we get rid of the evil, and that is pure evil. I mean, if you want someone to crash a helicopter into potential, a city or residential neighborhoods to stop ICE raids, to stop something from happening where it's like federal agents are stopping people who broke the law from being in our country, and your response to that is like, let me kill the ICE agents. Fuck you. Get the fuck out of my country. Go in jail. Go dig your own grave. Like, I don't fucking care. Fuck you. Get the fuck out. It makes me so sick what these people are doing. But yeah, that's something to watch out for this weekend. I'll report on that on Monday if that ends up happening. I'm not going to over-report on that now. I thought we'd get more information on it, but we really haven't. That's all the information we've gotten so far, is that they do plan to organize again this weekend, and they do plan to, in mass, use laser pointers to try and fuck with the police officers, the helicopters, the planes, and the amount of damage that could come from that is very scary. So we're not going to talk about that for too long. Again, like I said, it's going to be a quicker one of our topics. We are going to move on. I do want to talk about what's happening with this Qatari airbase. I'm going to bring you guys over to our videos here. We have a video to show you, then I just have some tweets I want to go through, and then we'll get to the comments. It's not going to be a long show. Again, painfully fucking slow news day. Painfully fucking slow. Let me see. Let me get this pulled up here. All right, here we go. This is the first video. This is of Hegseth announcing it. And then I will show you guys reactions, and we'll talk about the reactions. I'm not going to talk much about the announcement. I'll talk about the reactions. But just to be clear as well where I stand on this before we play, I'm not in favor. Again, maybe if more details come out for the reason for this and like there is some strategy to it, but I'm not a fan of this. I really think that this was probably part of the, just an unwritten part of the deal. We all know that Qatar played a massive role with the Israel-Gaza ceasefire that we're now seeing possibly start. So maybe this was a stipulation. They were like, you got to do this for us. You got to allow us to train with F-15s on U.S. soil. I don't know. We'll see.
No one other than President Trump could have achieved the peace that we believe will be a lasting peace in Gaza, and Qatar played a substantial role from the beginning, working with our folks to ensure that came about. So I want to thank you for that historic peace. We look forward to joining the president as that gets, it's already been delivered, but as that's formally signed as well. And I'm also proud that today we're signing a letter of acceptance to build a Qatari Emiri Air Force facility at the Mountain Home Air Base in Idaho. The location will be host a contingent of Qatari F-15s and pilots to enhance our combined training, increase lethality, interoperability. It's just another example of our partnership. And I hope you know, Your Excellency, that you can count on us. No one other than...
Yeah, I mean, I don't want a partnership with Qatar the same way I don't want a partnership with any of these nations. I really don't. I want to be a American nationalist society where we really have no relation to these countries. But the point of why I'm talking, again, I normally wouldn't even talk about something like this. It just doesn't seem like big enough news. But the reason I am is because of the pattern I noticed, which is, here, wait, there we go, retard finder, found one. Let's see. Yeah. So, Laura Loomer. Will the next 9/11 be done with F-15s? I guess we are going to find out. I just know I'm not voting in 2026. We live in a Muslim country now. Again, this is someone who outspokenly spoke for Trump. This is somebody who didn't flinch when Trump buried the Epstein files, actually defended Trump when he buried the Epstein files. But this is where she draws the line. She didn't give a shit about the genocide. She didn't care about any of that. Mark Levin, same thing. I never dreamed of anything like this. We've not only agreed to go to war for Qatar, but now we're building an Air Force facility in our country. Shocking. Again, another one turning on Trump. He's put out like 5 more tweets about this today as well. I just think it's I don't know. I find it pretty funny. I find it pretty amusing that they're just outing themselves. They're not pro-America. They don't give a shit about America. They care about Israel. They care about Jews. That's it. These people, and it's not all Jews, but these people, these very specific Jews, and then a few others in government, a lot of dual citizens, a lot of really corrupt people in politics, they don't give a shit about America. Like, they stand behind Trump because Trump's on the winning side of it. But these people do not give a fuck about America. They care about the side that supports Israel. I promise you, if Kamala was as outspokenly supporting Israel as Trump was, if Kamala was sucking off Bibi the way Trump has, then they would have sided with Kamala. It's very obvious what's happening here is these people just don't give a fuck about America or Americans or what happens to us. They only give a shit about Israel. They only give a shit about their own self-interest, about their own Jewish interests. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I wanted to show this as well. This was a funny clip. So I've showed this clip before, but here, let me show you guys this clip, and then I have a second follow-up clip I want to show that I have never shown because it's a new one. But I want to show this first. So this is of Michael Rappaport. He's involved in sports, social media. This is him talking to his APEC handler, negotiating over payments of things he's going to be saying on social media supporting Israel.
For the videos I've been getting. If I say Israel, you got to pay me a certain price. If I say Zionist, you pay me a certain price. If I say Zionist, Israel, and Jewish, that's the big 3, I get paid for that. Right. Same as always. Yeah, just keep paying me the same thing. Zionist, Israel, Jewish, you pay me. No problem. If I do what if I do a watermelon emoji and if I say something about fuck Palestine? If I say fuck Palestine on camera, okay, you're gonna give me more. Okay, cool.
And someone notices. If I say fuck Palestine on camera, you're gonna give me more. What if I say fuck Israel right now? Is someone gonna pay me? Is one of you bitches gonna give me some? Someone give me some money. Fuck Israel. Fuck them all. Fuck Israel. They should, again, not be involved in the United States in any way. They should not have any dual citizens in our country. Someone give me some money for saying, come on. Fuck them. Free Palestine. Fuck Israel. Someone give me money. Where's my payday now? Come on. Where's the other side of the aisle? I want some money, bitch. But yeah, I wanted to show that clip because then I wanted to show this clip. Because when people see this and they think it's authentic, that clip adds some perspective to it. This is him again following the ceasefire call.
It started. Where are you motherfuckers at? Is it not cool? Is that not what the cool kids are doing? You've been saying for 2 years, ceasefire now. You got to cease fire right now. It's happening right now. The hostages are being released. I know you don't give a fuck about that. Maybe it's not the ceasefire. It's occupation. Oh, well, but
Look how washed up he looks. Holy shit, he looks like he aged like shit. That looks like my grandfather's ball sack, but probably a little whiter.
They're not occupying Gaza. The occupation of the West.
Sorry, misspoke. It looks like one testicle. Like that's like one raggedy ass testicle. It's not even a full ball sack.
Bank or Judea Samaria, the Zionists. Yo, there's a ceasefire right now. Breathe, motherfuckers. Be happy. Be elated. I'm happy. I'm elated. I cannot wait. All fucking regular, normal people.
See, we would be happy if Israel didn't break 80% of all their peace deals, including multiple peace deals with Palestine a few years ago. Another thing is like most of the people who were speaking out against Israel, we weren't pro-Hamas. Like that's the biggest piece of propaganda they tried to throw our way. We're gonna finish the clip in a sec. But real quick, one of the biggest pieces of propaganda is like if you told any Jew in America, and I experienced this myself personally with a lot of Jews I was debating with about this, but if you told any Jew in America, I think it's a genocide, I don't support Israel in this war, they're all like, so you support Hamas? So you support Hamas? Oy vey, you support Hamas? Like, brother, shut the fuck up. No, I don't support Hamas. I just don't support your shit third world nation either. I am an American. I support America. I don't want my tax dollars going anywhere but to Americans. I don't want my tax dollars, leaving fucking U.S. soil. I don't want to be involved in these wars. I don't want to control Iranian airspace for Israel. I don't want to defend Israel in every fucking regime change. I don't want tens of thousands of Americans to go die for fucking Israel. I don't want to support a country who killed our president, attacked us, knew about 9/11, bunch of different really corrupt things. So they're just like, oh, you support Hamas. You must support Hamas. You have to be supporting Hamas if you're not supporting Israel. No, like they're like, you have to pick a side. Yeah, bitch, America. That's my side. I'm on the American side. I'm not on the fucking Israeli side. I'm not on the Hamas side. I'm on the fucking American side. And I don't know why that's so hard for these people to grasp. They're all like, oh, you're not celebrating. Yeah, bitch, because I'm not Palestinian. I live in America. I live in Florida. We're fine here. I just didn't want people dying on my tax dollar. I wasn't cool with my tax dollars being spent to fund a genocide. I don't want the genocide to happen regardless because I'm a Catholic. But I've said this before and I'll continue to say it. I would have at least been able to sleep way better at night knowing we weren't funding it. Again, if they wanted to go do whatever they wanted to do, I wouldn't support it, but I would be way better off knowing that that my country wasn't supporting it. That the country that I vouch for and I stand for and I wave their flag in front of my house, that they weren't funding a genocide. That's what I care about more than anything. So, I don't know. I find it to be just a massive piece of propaganda the way they say that. He's not the only one saying this. You have people like Ben Shapiro, Mark Levin, Lord, like all the Zio boomer retards, they're all saying the same thing. We're going to finish this clip though, but what I really wanted you guys to see with this clip is he's paid to say this. We saw, like, that clip was from years ago that I showed you originally, but he's still getting paid. He's on the fucking payroll. A lot of these people are. Like, you think these random celebrities in America who aren't Jewish give a fuck about Israel? No, they're paid to do it.
Any single normal regular person is excited and happy, Baruch Hashem, that these hostages, Baruch Hashem, are going to make it home in the next few days. And there's no war, there's no explosions, no bombings, no IDF soldiers, no innocent civilians of Gaza, and actual innocent civilians of Gaza being hurt and scared. And you got nothing to say now, motherfuckers?
I literally showed a video yesterday after the ceasefire was declared of Israel shooting unarmed civilians on their way out. You're a lying bitch.
Maybe I'm just dumb.
You are.
I believed you motherfuckers when you were saying ceasefire, ceasefire. But maybe I'm a fucking sucker.
You are. You're an absolute cocksucker. You take money from Israel. You are actually the definition of a cocksucker.
I'm the dumbass.
Yep. Guys, we did it. We won. We convinced him. He's a dumbass. He's saying it for us. Let's go. Fuck this bitch.
For believing that you motherfuckers actually wanted that shit.
You call me a motherfucker? I'll fuck your mother. No, I won't. I'm a Catholic. But fuck you, bitch. Fuck this guy. This guy's a loser. He's admitting he's a retard.
You didn't want that shit.
You didn't want that shit. Yes, we did. We don't want people to die. Again, we don't want innocent Israelis to die either. That's also the thing. It's just there was like very few innocent Israelis who died in comparison to the amount of people in Palestine who were murdered. Who were, again, I'm going to make a bold claim that I'm going to get shit for. I'm going to make a bold statement that I'm going to get shit for. But I was thinking about this last night. And I decided just now in this moment, like legitimately just now in this moment, I decided to do it. If Israel breaks a ceasefire agreement, or if one American soldier dies and the war starts again, because we are sending troops over there, which is a super fucked up thing. All it takes is one Israeli soldier to shoot a U.S. service member in the head and say Hamas did it for us to be in a full-scale conflict. But if Israel starts this genocide again, I'm not going to call it a genocide anymore. I'm going to call it a Holocaust. And I mean that because if you look at the definition of a Holocaust, it fits it. There's not just like the Holocaust isn't the term for, it's not just the only term for what happened then. That's if you use it as like a proper noun or whatever. But it fits the definition of what a Holocaust would be, and nothing would infuriate them more than us calling it that. So if they start this again, that will be my next step. And it's not only to infuriate them and to, start controversy, it's to call it what it is. That's what it would be. Like, the word genocide doesn't seem to cut through deep enough to them. They don't seem to understand the weight of what they've actually done, where they're trying to displace millions of people. They destroyed 83% of all the buildings. They mass murdered children, women, and journalists. Literally double tap attacks on journalists. As they'd come to report on the initial attack, they would then get bombed again. So we're going to call it a Holocaust if this starts again. And that's something I'm going to stick to. I know that's something that's going to be controversial. But that's what we're going to do. We are going to call it a Holocaust. We're not going to say it's the Holocaust, but we're going to call it a Holocaust. It's its own Holocaust. So that will be the next steps to that. I do want to go on. I want to show you guys some other things we got for you. I briefly showed this for a second, but I love the account Retard Finder because it really is good at finding the retards. Josh Hammer, you're one of them. Major fucking retard. Major retard alert. Josh Hammer, king retard, king dumb bitch retard. Let's all look at that ugly fucking face for a second. Look at that ugly bitch's face, like half squinted eye, fucking weirdly arched eyebrows, receding ass hairline. Fucking like chest hair up to his neck. Like, trim that a little, buddy, okay? The fuck is, like, this is a gross look. Look at that. Like, that is a, Imagine being that guy's wife. Yeah, absolute fucking, total fucking retard. This is what I was talking about earlier as well. Jake Shields tweeted out pretty much the exact same thing, and Alex Jones said something similar, but they said, my timeline is completely filled with pro-Israel bullshit. I see people saying that, but I mean literally. All of a sudden, it's all Israeli shills and no one I follow and for you. And we're going to test this theory live. Again, let's see if it's still going on, but Laura Loomer's crashing out again. I find retards pops up in my things a lot, but let's see. Yeah, see, like, so far, these first 3 out of the first 4 are pro-Israel Zionists. Candace Owens is not a friend of Eric Kirk. When Candace this person is just going against Candace. Mark Levin, a Jew, Gavin Newsom, Laura Loomer. You guys see, it's all very repetitive. And there was a comment about this that someone commented on my post about my reaction to this. They were like, that was a Democrat move. I'll respond to your comment later, but it was just a fucking joke, buddy. I just think that clip was fun. Like, I get it, like, she was impersonating someone, but it's just, like, it's freaky. It's freaky in a funny way. It's just, like, like, fucking way she did it. I don't know. It was funny. It was a joke. This is also, let's watch this clip real quick. This podcast dropped today. Let's watch this clip.
Congratulations on your generational run.
Thank you.
Nick's been having a generational run.
What does that mean?
It means I'm on a generational run. I'm making things happen. I'm blowing up.
Oh, yeah.
He's
your star is
unstoppable.
ascendant.
Mm-hmm. It's unstoppable. It's inevitable, babe. America first is inevitable. Hats off to you, Nick Fuentes, on what you've been accomplishing on this generational run. And it's not limited to that. Congratulations to what you've accomplished in the last 10 years of putting yourself on the line, putting your life on the line, your opinions out there, voicing them in such a great way that you're able to communicate to the youth so effectively. So hats off to you, Nick Fuentes, on all this.
You're
Yes.
becoming a household name. Gotcha, yeah.
When I tried to lock you down for this pod a couple months ago,
Yeah.
yeah, you were already ascendant,
Yep.
and yet you still keep climbing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm such a fan, honestly, that I'm like, my questions initially, I was like, oh, he's gonna feel like I'm like, they're like super chat tier. Congratulations.
They both want to fuck him. You could cut the sexual tension in that room with a knife. Holy shit. Oh, especially this fucking broad, especially the broad on the left. I mean, you could literally cut the sexual tension in that room with a knife. Holy shit. He's just sitting there chilling. Total aura, straight charisma. And then these two little hussies. You could see. You could see what they're thinking about. Let's go on though. Let's scroll through the timeline for like one more second and then we will yeah, another one. But yeah, my timeline is filled with this shit. So you guys can see it's not like this is just made up bullshit. Let's X out of some of these. I had one video left I wanted to show you guys. Maybe I'll go if I see if I had anything bookmarked. I don't know if I did. I don't think I did. Maybe I had one or two things. But this is a funny video. If you guys don't know who Bryce Mitchell is, Bryce Mitchell's a fucking dog. Bryce Mitchell is one of my favorite UFC fighters. The guy is just he's a retard, but he's an American patriot. I mean, this guy is a child of God. He is an American patriot. He loves Christ, loves America, and again, he's a retard, but he's a fucking UFC fighter. What do you expect from him? The guy gets hit in the face for a living. I'm pretty sure he's from West Virginia. But yeah, he's the guy who said, I don't buckle my seatbelt in the car in case I have to get out and tuck and roll. He said he was pro-Hitler. He said a lot of crazy things the guy said. Like a lot of like things he said that, you know, normal people just don't say in the media. But we're gonna watch this video real quick. I thought this was very, very funny. This guy's a fucking character. He has his own podcast too. On his first podcast is when he said the Hitler thing, and Dana White was like this fucking retard. And then Dana White, like this was kind of fucked up, but then Dana White purposefully put him against Josh Emmett, one of the hardest hitting motherfuckers. Like Josh Emmett, if you guys don't know the UFC lore, if you don't know stuff about UFC, I love talking about this, but Josh Emmett's a fucking beast. Josh Emmett would just boom, one uppercut, literally sent him flying back. One of the most brutal knockouts I've ever seen. I'm surprised Bryce Mitchell continued fighting after that. But yeah, I mean, Dana White set him up on that fight on purpose because he wanted him to lose because of what happened. There's a couple UFC guys I really love and some really American ones. Sean Strickland's one of them. Actually, before we show this, the royal wedding happened over the last weekend. Sean Strickland got fucking married, guy. Again, if you're not a UFC fan, this is going to mean nothing to you, but Sean Strickland got married, everybody. Holy shit. If you know anything about Sean Strickland, you know that's awesome. You know that's crazy. The guy is like, again, I mean this in the most respectful way. He's a total fucking retard. The guy, you know, he makes millions of dollars, but he lives in like a shithole apartment and drives like a $15,000 car. Doesn't like to spend money on random. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he bought like $20,000 spinning rims for his $15,000 car after he became UFC champion. He loves guns. He is a diagnosed sociopath. He just wants to murder people. He has like little to no empathy. If you want a good example of this, watch the interview he did with the Nelk Boys. And I don't love all their interviews. Some of them, like especially the BB one. We all know about that. But in the interview with the Nelk Boys, he literally says to Aaron Steinberg, he says, yeah, again, it's just something about you, dude. I just want to take your head and fucking slam it against the corner of that table and then take your life. Like, he's just saying this because he's just speaking his mind and that's who he is. If Sean Strickland wasn't in the UFC, he would just be a murderer. Like, he once put a shotgun into a guy's mouth and the guy's girlfriend dove on him and, like, Sean could have either killed both of them or none, and he chose none of them. But Sean Strickland's, like, a really fucked up, you know, like, again, I'm not saying it in an insulting way. He had a traumatic childhood. He had to defend his mom from, like, his dad used to get drunk and try and kill his mom all the time, and he had to, like, beat the shit out of his dad. You know, his dad used to abuse him. He had to learn to fight back against that. And, like, he would talk about how when everyone's partying, he would be in the garage just beating the fuck out of a heavy bag. And he was just, like, when he did MMA and, like, when he would get the shit beaten out of him when he was first starting, he's like, it's the only time I felt happy in my life. Which is, like, really fucked up and sad when you think about it. It actually is really sad. But it's what created a champion. I mean, he became the world champion of literally from being a bum who was going to end up in jail as a murderer. And that's words from his own mouth. To UFC champion, a respectable man, a man who is now getting married. Hats off to you, Sean Strickland. You are You're an American story. That's the best way to put it. You are America. You are patriotic. You are you're the average American. And it's not to say the average American is like a fucked up sociopath, but it's like what you represent, the idea that you can come from nothing, a traumatic, shitty childhood, and you can overcome everything being born in America, and you can become successful, a millionaire, you can get married, like all these things. That's America right there. That is the American dream. The American dream is not immigrants coming in our nation, raping our women, and taking our jobs. No, the American dream is an American being born in America to shit and building everything from that. Building a legacy that will last a lifetime. Because Sean Strickland became the champion of the world, and no one can ever take that title. Again, you could take, actually, someone else became the champion, they took the title, but you can never take the legacy of it away. The fact that he was the champion of the UFC, the world champion for the middleweight division, the hardest hitting motherfucker his weight in the world. No one can take that away. So, I know I just went on a little review. I love UFC. I'm literally I'm obsessed with UFC. I love UFC. I love the go fucking Birds. Terrible fucking loss last night. Terrible loss. Ugh, fuck that. But we'll recover. We're still reigning Super Bowl champions. I do want to show this video, though. This is an entertaining one. I just wanted to give a background to Bryce Mitchell. And then when I was doing that, Sean Strickland seemed like a good person to talk about because of the wedding and how patriotic the guy is. And he's outspoken against Israel as well. I mean, he is... I don't know if he watches Nick Fuentes, but he's a groiper for sure.
I tell you right now, fuck you, Ben Shapiro. I'll beat your ass. And look, if you mess with Candace Owens,
I'll beat your fucking ass. I'll tell you right now, bitch. I'll beat your ass. We're gonna start it over because this is great.
I tell you right now, fuck you, Ben Shapiro. I'll beat your ass. And look, if you mess with Candace Owens, I promise you, if you lay one little greasy finger on Candace Owens, I'm going to beat your ass. I'm going to roll up on you, shirts off. I'm going to have the twins with me. We're going to beat your ass because you mess with Candace Owens. We're going to be looking
The Hodge twins are looking at him like, yo, don't get us into this shit. I don't want to go fight this fucking Jew who's going to sue us into oblivion.
Shirts off, me in the middle. We're going to look like a 6-foot-tall Oreo coming at you, buddy.
See, the guy's just a clown. Like, this is what we need. We need more of this shit. We need more people just, like, outlandishly saying shit like this. You touch a hair on Candace Owens' head, and I'll beat the kip off the back of your head, bitch.
We're going to stomp your ass to the ground. Don't you mess with Candy, baby. I'm telling you right now, I don't like Ben Shapiro. I'll say it to his face. Bring him on the show. Because he wants Christian people in this country that he already steals their tax dollars off of. He's part of this corrupted government. He's a piece of shit just like the rest of them. He wants us to go die to bomb Muslim kids for his Jewish people because he's too scared to do it. How come Ben Shapiro, since he's all about this war, how come he don't sign up for the army? Because he's a bitch.
Yeah. I'm
Straight up.
These war.
I tell you right now.
It's so funny.
Fuck you, Ben Shapiro.
We're gonna watch the beginning again.
I'll beat your ass. And look, if you mess with Candace Owens,
I'll beat your fucking ass. I'll beat your ass. I'll be like a 6-foot-tall Oreo coming at you. I don't know if I do, but if I have any listeners who are in high school, make that your yearbook quote. It'll be a 6-foot-tall Oreo coming at you. Like, that's fucking hilarious. That is so funny. The Hodge twins and Bryce Mitchell just pulling up, just... That would be fucking great. That would be unreal. That would be top tier comedy, top tier content right there. W Bryce Mitchell on that one. Again, I don't condone violence, but it's jokes. Like, maybe he's not even kidding. Again, he's a little fucking, you know what I mean? He's a little out there. He's a UFC guy, but it's not, obviously he's not going to fight Ben Shapiro. He might be a retard, but he's smarter than that. And Bryce, if you ever listen to this, just know I'm not calling you a retard in a derogatory way. I mean it in the same way that I call myself retarded, and Alex Jones calls himself retarded. We're men, baby. We're men. We make retarded jokes. We say retarded off-color things. Literally the other day, for like 3 minutes straight, I was like, Bibi Netanyahu's raping me. Can someone stop it? Like, again, we're all a little retarded. We got to celebrate it sometimes, and I love celebrating this guy's retardation every now and then. In the most positive way, I say that. I really love Bryce Mitchell. Let's see what's, nothing really over there. Let's see if we got anything in our bookmarks that's worth, oh yeah, okay, I had this. This is actually crazy. Following the Charlie Kirk assassination, someone sent a letter to Benny Johnson's house saying that he was going to kill his wife and kids and him. Super fucked up. Again, this is the good versus evil we're trying to root out of our society. This person needs to be thrown in the back of a cell for the rest of their life. But this is the press conference. Quick 1 minute clip of it, minute and a half.
Who wrote me, described why he wanted me dead. I was a white, cis, Christian Trump supporter.
See, I'm 3 of those things. I think the word cis is actually a slur. But yeah, I'm a straight white Christian. And as a straight white Catholic, that was one thing I should have mentioned earlier when I was talking about Charlie Kirk. But all the people who celebrated when Charlie Kirk died would celebrate if I died. That's a really heavy thing to think about. But that's the cross we have to bear. It's, again, we cannot silence our voices because of that. Because people would celebrate if we died is only more reason to use our voices, not to silence them.
They described in great detail how I would be killed in an open field, just like Charlie. How much blood would come out of my head and neck when it was blown off. This individual described orphaning my 4 beautiful children and widowing my wife with great joy.
You can see how
Want to say
you can see how heavy this is weighing on him. Wow. You can see how emotional this is. I mean, this has to be like, I can never imagine getting a letter like that. I know being in this space, it's inevitable. We're gonna get threats. We're gonna get shit like that. But well, that's crazy. It's just crazy how when you see this, like, I've seen, if you don't know who Benny Johnson is, no offense, you're fucking out of the loop. But if you've seen Benny Johnson talk before, he's the biggest smile, cheerful fucking guy. Like, this is the first time I've ever seen him like this. I'm going to rewind a couple seconds because I was talking over that.
You might want to say another left-wing radical, another extremist. And to that, I would like to direct your attention to the state of Virginia, where Democrats have nominated and are about to vote for the chief law enforcement officer in that state, a man who has done the exact same thing. An individual who's calling for the assassination by bullets of Republicans that he disagrees with. The killing of their children. The slaughtering of, as he says, little fascists. Are my 4 innocent, beautiful children little fascists? Violence has been mainstreamed by the Democrat Party. It is not extremist, it is mainstream.
Yeah.
And we need a moment of reckoning here. This has to stop. This cycle must end. Is any Democrat courageous enough to disavow violence?
Yeah, it's sad that no Democrats really speak out against this. Not a lot, or not enough. I mean, not to say that there's none, but very few. But yeah, this is the violence we're dealing with. This is the evil in our society that needs to be rooted out. People wanted this man and his wife and his kids dead. They called his kids little fascists. It's the same thing Jay Jones said. Jay Jones, the guy running for, Attorney General in Virginia. He said that he wanted to kill his opponent's kids, or that he'd celebrate if his opponent's kids dead because they're all just little fascists. It's such a demonic, fucked up way of thinking when you really think about it. You don't even have to really think about it to know that. I mean, I don't know why the fuck I said that. But yeah, I'm going to pray for Benny Johnson, pray for his wife and kids. I hope that, I doubt his kids know that they received this letter. You wouldn't traumatize your kids with that. Maybe you would tell them to be more cautious, with where they're going, looking over their shoulder, who they're texting and calling. But yeah, we really should pray for these people. It is important we do. The power of prayer is strong and we need to use it. The only way we are going to beat this with the power of prayer and through legislation. Violence is never the answer. Retaliations are never the answer. It is prayer and it is legislation. We need the president to take action against this. We need way stricter laws to to stop the violence in this country. I'm again getting emotional. Like same thing. It's not like when I say getting emotional, what I mean is I'm just getting like a little brain fog because of all the. You get mixed emotions because I'm really sad seeing this, but at the same time it makes me angry, and then at the same time as well, it makes me like a teeny bit hopeful that maybe stuff like this will open the eyes of the Americans to change. Like when Charlie Kirk was assassinated, no part of me was happy, but there was one part of me that said, is this going to be the moment where our president finally steps up and does something to stop the violence that's happening in this country? And it really didn't happen. Trump didn't seem to actually give a shit that Charlie Kirk was assassinated, which was one of the really sad things to realize. Let's see if I have anything else to show you guys. Oh, I saw this picture. I thought it was funny. Americans, why can't you just be normal? And then American politicians literally licking the wall in Israel. It's true. That's what we're dealing with. That's literally what we're dealing with. This was another thing. 3 years later, Sneeko finally... I thought it was funny how they wrote that. Like, it's kind of fucked, but they wrote, we're pleased to let you know that we've recently reviewed your YouTube account, and after taking another look, we can confirm that it is not in violation of our terms of service. We have lifted the suspension. We'd like to thank you for your patience while we reviewed this case. That's the part I thought was funny. We'd like to thank you for your patience. It's been 3 years, bitch. Give him back pay. Like, he would have made so much money being monetized. Like, fuck you. Give him back pay or something. I'm going to show that. I didn't think I was going to show this, but I'll show it really quick. This is a retarded clip of Grant Cardone. If you don't know who Grant Cardone is, he's the Scientologist. I honestly think this guy's kind of just a scammer. I don't think, actually, I mean, he's accomplished a lot. He's worth over $500 million, I think. But at the same time, he's a complete fucking jackass. So I don't think he's the smartest guy to listen to.
400 grand's like a no-brainer. That's how you make 400 grand. You put it in your calculator and say, I make 400 grand. And I divide it by 365. That means I need to make $1,095. If you've ever made $1,095 in 11...
Guys, it's that easy. That's all you have to do to make 400 grand. You just have to make $1,100 a day. It's that easy. Why don't guys go to your bosses today and tell them, holy shit, I cracked the code. I can make 400,000. I just need you to pay me $1,100 a day. And watch your boss just fire you on the spot. Like, again, you can create your own wealth. I'm not saying there's not other ways to get to this, but like saying this and then the next 4 seconds he doesn't give any other information. He saying this with no other details is just pointless. It's just like saying, hey, you want to know how to make 800,000 a day? Make 2,200 a day. Like, go fuck yourself. You're not helping anybody with that. No shit. We could all do the fucking math. We all have calculators. We all have fucking phone. Like, go fuck yourself, Grant Cardone. I don't even hate the guy. I just, I found that to be... Let's see. We'll show this. This is going to be our last clip of the day, and then we will go on to headlines and comments. I didn't even realize we'd already been going for an hour. I said this was going to be a short show. I was legitimately planning to do like a 20, 30-minute episode today. And I guess I don't know. I was riffing, ranting. It was just going. It was flowing, baby. It was flowing. We're flowing. We're sending off the weekend nicely. We're almost there. It's Friday now, bitches. It's Friday. It's Friday. I don't want to get copyrighted for singing that song. Wait here, let's watch this real quick. We're not going to watch the whole thing. We're just going to watch a part of it. It's like 2.5 minutes. We're just going to watch like 45 seconds of it. But this is a poll on CNN where they showed that on the right and left side, for the first time in American history, people are now supporting Palestine over Israel.
Yeah, this war caused a historic shift in public opinion on how Americans view the Middle East conflict. What are we talking about here? Who voters sympathize more with, the Israelis or the Palestinians? Back in October of 2023, it was the Israelis by 48 points. Look at this shift. Now we're talking about the Palestinians by a point. I looked back at every single poll that I could possibly find since this question was first asked in the 1980s. This is the first time ever in which the Palestinians had any sort of lead on this particular question. It is very clear that this war caused a historic shift away from the Israeli position in the Middle East conflict and towards the Palestinians when it comes to who Americans and voters sympathize with. This, of course,
and we're going to talk about the reason really quick. We talk about this all the time on the show, but it's because older generations are retarded compared to us, compared to younger generations. If you're Gen Z, Gen Alpha, you get it. If you're millennial, you probably kind of get it. But we're so much better at technology than these fucking old retards. Like, if you know how to work a phone without big text letters, if you know how to work a phone without having to ask someone's help or a computer or navigate the internet or social media, mass market, etc., you're instantly smarter, at least on some level, than all these, retard boomers. Retard boomers are dragging down society in a lot of ways. They were so easily propagandized because they turned on the news and they were like, that must be true. My favorite person is saying it. It's got to be true. And then we have the ability to scroll X, scroll TikTok, actually look at what's propaganda, what's not. We're able to decipher what's propaganda and what's not because we're just so much fucking smarter. And it's not saying there's not exceptions to the rule. There are some smart boomers out there, but generally, I think most of us can agree that boomers have fucked this country pretty bad. Beyond just the financial fucking, I don't know. I told you guys we were raped by BB. We've been raped by these boomers. I mean, boomers are... I don't want people to die, but when they die, America will be, when they die and the new generations come in, I really think America will have a huge shift, not only in wealth, but in views, in communication. I think boomers are the people who really try and silence people and shut them up. They're pro-censorship. They don't want to touch Social Security, even though we won't get it. They will not give up on that. They really support Israel. They are very easily propagandized. They don't give a shit about lobbying. Most of them think you're racist if you talk about race politics. But yeah, I really think when the boomers are when they've had their time, and they're all gone, I think it will be a lot better. Let's check our headlines. A viral meme on X uses 7,000 to target pro-Israel posts referencing leaked documents and Justice Department filings on Project Esther, an Israeli initiative paying U.S. social media influencers up to 7,000 per post to promote narratives during the Gaza conflict. Yeah, all these people are now just getting called out because you can't hide these things. You can't hide these things in today's day and age. We have these internet sleuths who are so much fucking smarter than all these boomers combined. And when Bibi Netanyahu thinks they're still outsmarting Americans like they've been doing for generations, they're not anymore. We are so fucking far ahead of them. We are light years ahead of where Bibi Netanyahu is in terms of thinking. Let's see if there's anything else. We talked about the YouTube pilot program. We're not going to talk about that. Yeah, it doesn't really look like there's anything else really too worth talking about. We'll probably just go on to our comments. We had a good show today. We talked about Charlie Kirk. We talked about how Jews are starting to lose support for Trump in America because of this Qatar air base. We also talked about the Antifa. We showed some clips. I talked about UFC for a bit. But yeah, it's been a great show. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Please remember to like, smash the follow button, leave a comment. We're going to get to the comments now. I like reading the comments a lot on the show. It's been a fun thing that I've added recently. Let me pull the comments up. It's getting all loaded in here. We didn't get, a ton of comments on yesterday's episode. There's actually a long thread of me arguing with someone. Let's see. Okay, the first comment's already retarded. Someone talking about Nick Fuentes said, saying Bridget doesn't matter is wild. He's not ignorant, so he must be a Fed, which would explain why he wasn't arrested on January 6th. You are so fucking painfully retarded, it's not even funny. He wasn't arrested on January 6th because he wasn't doing anything illegal, because he was so far from the actual Capitol building. You are fucking retarded. You are just a fucking retard. And if you listen to what he was actually saying, and you listen to his lawyer's response on it, what he was saying was not illegal. It wasn't inciting anything. You need to actually just educate yourself, or just fucking, I'm not even, you're just a retard. You're just a major fucking retard is all I can say about you. Low IQ fucking retard. Next comment, though. Someone said, you can't trust anything anymore, especially with the rise of AI, including the official narrative of all recent and past events. This is the guy who's been trying to convince me that Charlie Kirk has been killed by Israel. So I don't know if that's referring to that, but I do agree with the main point of, like, you shouldn't trust anything. You shouldn't trust anybody. You shouldn't trust anything. You should have a small network of people you trust. You should have some sources you trust. But other than that, you should not be investing your trust in people, especially like in random X accounts and shit like that on social media, because AI is really fucking a lot of this up. I mean, AI, I showed you guys the videos yesterday. If you didn't watch yesterday's episode, go watch it. AI is scary, and like what they're doing with Jake Paul, it is fucking scary. So I appreciate you commenting. I totally agree with you there. I really think you just cannot trust these things. Let's go to our next one. This guy said, I love the testimony, bro. I relate heavily. I really love what you're doing here too, man. More of us have to speak up. Keep up the solid ass work, man. God bless the United States of America. God bless the United States of America. Yes, sir. And thank you. I appreciate your kind words. I appreciate your love for the show. You said, let's see, let's go. I love the testimony. He's probably talking about, maybe it's something else, but I'm guessing he's talking about the middle part of the episode where I actually got really honest with the audience about my personal struggles, where I'm at in life, how I got to the positions I'm at, how I got to speaking about this stuff, my red pill experience, all that. So I think you're probably talking about that. And I think it's a story a lot of people can relate to. Again, like, I was a young man who was addicted to porn. I was a young man who was addicted to marijuana. I'm a young man who still to this day, I don't have health insurance. I am the disaffected young white man in this country who went to college and was told to go major in this, and then AI replaced everything in that industry. Like, I am the displaced young white man in this society who the government has continuously fucked. You know, my rent was $1,100, and then a Category 5 hurricane hit my town, and my rent skyrocketed to $3,000 a week later. Like, these are the problems we need to fix. There's a lot of problems, but I appreciate what you're saying. Again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for commenting. And God bless you, sir. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. God bless us all. Thank you for that comment. We're going to go on to the next one. Someone said, proud of you, man. I've been weed-free for 25 years, tobacco-free for 20, and completely alcohol-free for 3 years. Props, sir. I am not only so proud of you, but Christ is proud of you as well. And that's something to really take to heart. You are putting your actions and intentions in alignment with the will of Christ. And that is that is one of the most beautiful things. So hats off to you. You also said, I've taken my weight from a fat fuck at 320 to 240. Dude, let's go. Huge W's for this guy. W's, bitches. Huge W. I wasn't going to wear this today, but we got to pull the hat out for your comment. This is the new Myron hat. Everyone go buy one. I don't want to get canceled for wearing it, but just for this, W. Huge W. Huge W. Real recognizes real, baby. You are a real one. You are a real one. But yeah, everyone go get your Real Ninjas Recognize Real Ninjas hat. I don't know if I could ever wear that out of the house without getting the shit beaten out of me by a black guy, but maybe one day we'll give it a try. Maybe one day we'll give it a try, but you're a real one, sir. You're a real one. And like, I'm really happy, like that shit like that to hear. That's awesome, dude. Fuck yeah, let's go. I have people in my life who, struggle with weight issues, and they were able to, through the best encouragement of just work out more, eat less. That is the best advice you can give to anyone who is struggling with weight issues. The easiest answer is work out more, eat less. You can literally eat Skittles for every one of your meals. If you're eating in a caloric deficit, you will lose weight. That's how it works. It's not going to be good for your health to eat Skittles every fucking day. That's not my point, but you guys get what I'm saying. But yeah, I mean, what this guy is doing is what... I don't know if you're going to do this, but here's a piece of advice I want to give to you, and something I think. Reach out to youth in your area and talk about your story. Talk about your story to the youth, because even if just one kid, even if 3, if 1, but maybe even 100. If you can inspire young kids to avoid alcohol, to avoid tobacco, to avoid weed, to avoid overeating or whatever led to the weight issues that you were dealing with that you were able to overcome, that's ways we like start locally and improve our societies locally. And if we all start locally, we can really help build this country back in a strong way. We need to. And plus, that's a great alt-right pipeline, is like teaching these young men things and then also bestowing on them like alt-right value, you know? The alt-right pipeline isn't just people like me who are like talking about alt-right politics. Like people who don't talk about politics at all and are just like looks maxing, like they're part of the alt-right pipeline. And people don't realize it, but they are, you know? People like Clav and stuff like that, they are part of the alt-right pipeline. But yeah, I really appreciate your comment, man. Thank you. I appreciate you saying that about me as well. I am newer to being clean from weed. It's something that I struggle with a bit in the beginning, but I was smoking every single day for 7 years or so, so a long time. I am tobacco free, I'll say that, but I do use these. I'm not nicotine free yet. I gotta get nicotine free. I don't think people should use them. They're very addictive. I was vaping, and then now I really just mainly use that, and very rarely do I pick up a vape. I prefer that. It's so much better for your health. Not that they're healthy at all. I'm not trying to promote that, but I mean, there are some studies actually that show that nicotine is healthy for men when it comes to testosterone and things like that, but it's such an addictive habit that it's an expensive habit. Don't, if you're going to up your testosterone, lift weights and be a man, you don't have to fucking use nicotine to do it. That's crazy. People who use nicotine solely for the testosterone, like, dude, if your testosterone's that low that you're like, I gotta smoke, I gotta put Zins in, I gotta vape, like, you're kind of a fucking loser. But I appreciate your comment. We're gonna go on to the next one. Someone said, huge fan of the show. I went to college for a month and a half, and I realized how big of a scam it was. Liberals would belittle me every day, and I was depressed as fuck. Now I'm getting into plumbers union. I encourage the trades. See, that's something... Hats off to you for realizing that so early on. I was someone who was propagandized the other way. I was told if I went to the trades, I would be a bum, and only bums went to the trades. And yeah, it's like you make more you'll make more as a plumber than most people are going to make in their first 10 years out of college. So you're doing it right, sir. The world needs more tradesmen, more strong men. And I showed that Fight Club scene yesterday, like where are your plumbers, where are your electricians, where are your bellhops, where are your, whoever the fuck, all your regular average Joe people, where are the motherfuckers who run this country? Let's never forget that. We keep this bitch running. Without us, this shit would fall. Like without guys like you, without plumbers, like you think all these retards and leftists and liberals and you think they're going to be able to fix their own shit? If all the plumbers tomorrow were like, no, we're not we're going on strike, it would be mass chaos. We would have shit flowing in the streets. So people like you guys you're doing it right. I don't want to write off college completely in the way Charlie Kirk did. And I don't think he wrote it off completely, but I think only go to college if you're going to be in very few specific majors. Doctor, lawyer, accountant, engineer, finance, and like maybe business, but like, I don't know, it depends what kind of business you're looking into. But yeah, there's really like not a lot of valuable college degrees. And if anyone wants to add to that list, I'm not trying to like leave anything out there if there's anything that does fit into there, but it's like criminal justice, psych, lesbian gender study. Like none of these things mean shit. None of them have a place. Like they don't, what are you going to do with a comm degree? Like seriously, I was a comm major and I realized I realized pretty fast that it was a fucking scam, and I switched to law and legal. But yeah, it's a fucking weird atmosphere. But yeah, I do agree. It's a place that breeds liberals, and even if you're not liberal when you get there, it breeds them. It takes a mind that's easily impressionable, and it really makes them into something that they weren't their entire lives. And we need to fix the woke indoctrination bullshit on these campuses. I appreciate you listening. Appreciate you supporting the show and tuning in. Thank you. Someone said, I appreciate you going through the comments recently at the end of each episode. I'm not sure how busy you are and will be in the future, but it's nice to see someone take the time for the little things and pay attention to details. You're quickly becoming my favorite podcast to listen to. I appreciate that I'm becoming one of your favorite shows. I really appreciate that people are starting to tune into the show more. I've been doing this for 9 months. I mean, to put it in perspective, and realistically, up until like 3 months ago, I had no listeners. And then again, more realistically, up until like a month and a half ago, I didn't have that many either. Like, I'm just starting to get some real traction, and it feels really nice to get it. It feels kind of vindicating, and at the same time, I don't just like take it and I'm like, oh, now I can relax. It's like, now's the time where I'm just doubling down. I'm pushing. That's why I'm reading the comments. I'm responding. I want to engage with the people who, you know, who want to speak to me. Like, if you guys have questions for me, if you want advice, if you just want to fuck with me, like, whatever it is, I like engaging with it. And not only that, I feel like this is good content. I feel like me reading the comments is almost just as entertaining as me joking about BB raping me sometimes. Maybe not always, but maybe that's just my thought. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on it, but I appreciate that a lot. And yeah, I just think we all have important things to say. And again, it's not to say that all you guys are going to be experts on everything, or like you guys are going to be like more well-versed than me, or I'm going to be, you know, more well vice versa. But it's just to say that, like, adding in your input and then having someone else, you know, either critique it, agree with it, it gets conversations going. And that's really what this show is about. The show is about starting conversations that can push Gen Z forward, that can push Gen Alpha forward, that can push millennials forward, that can fix the broken America we're dealing with, the decline of America we're seeing in real time, that can bring true American and Christian nationalism, and that can spread the word of our Lord. That's what we're trying to do here. So I appreciate you noticing that. I appreciate you seeing it. Appreciate you tuning in and saying that it's become one of your favorite shows. Like, really, that does make me so happy. So thank you so much. That is really awesome. Someone said, what's with the Don Jr. look? Is it the hair? Like, again, sorry I don't have a fucking, like, blown out taper fade. Like, this is my natural hair and beard. Like, I don't know what the fuck you want. Like, I'm not going to spend $70 for, like, a blown out taper fade so I can look different. Like, yeah, I don't look like Don Jr., but I get it. I wear the suit. I wear the, you know, star tie. I got the beard. Similar hairstyle, but let's be honest, I'm a way more handsome son of a bitch than that guy. I might be a little shorter, but I'm a handsome motherfucker compared to him. Not to toot my own horn, but come on, look at this jawline, motherfuckers. Let's see. I appreciate the comment. Appreciate you tuning in. Someone said, lost me on what you said about Candace. Okay, again, like, shut up. If you think that Candace slow playing the release a month, like, it's now been a month. I've been saying for the last few days, we're almost at a month. It's now been officially a month since Charlie was assassinated. If you think Candace slow playing the release of this information for a month is not a grift, like, come on, fuck you. I appreciate that someone's looking into Charlie's murder. I appreciate that Candace brought forward the receipts. What I do not appreciate and what I find to be disingenuous is that Candace dragged this on. Every day she's like, and tomorrow I'll release more information that I have available today that I'm choosing not to because I'm monetizing every stream. That's where it's like, come on, bitch. Like, what are you doing? Stop the grift. Just do it. But I do think what she's doing is good journalism to a point. I just don't agree with all of the different angles. Like, we got to think, like, she investigated the tunnel under the floor. She investigated, like, a palm pistol. She investigated a lot of different theories that just didn't pan out. And then yesterday, it really seemed like a lot of the stuff she was saying just agreed with the official narrative. So we'll see where it ends up. I'm not going to critique her too much more right now because I want to see what she ends up doing with the information she's provided. But every day, more and more, every day that goes by that she doesn't release the information, less people talk about Charlie Kirk, that's A. And then B, you give them more plans to cover up their tracks. So it's like, I don't know, I don't think what she's doing is great. I think the more time she takes, the less people, like, literally in the news, nobody's talking about Charlie Kirk. But if Candace blew the whistle that Israel was behind the whole thing, or this person that we have never heard of is behind the whole thing, it would change the conversation and the narrative. So yeah, that's a stupid comment. I appreciate you listening, though. Someone said, do all you right-wing commenters get bullied in school? I would shove you in a locker, pussy. Shut up. I would literally, I would eat off your lunch tray. I would, fuck you. You're a dumb bitch. Do we all get, and like, what's your even comment there about? It's like, is being bullied, like if someone's bullied, are they automatically just a pussy for the rest of their life? Like, does that mean that if you got bullied in high school or bullied in school or whatever, you're trying to say that you're just a loser for life and you have no credit? Like shut the fuck up, you fucking retard. Like, even if I was heavily bullied in school, what the fuck would that matter? Like, Your entire comment is just retarded. It's similar to like Tucker's comment of like that gay kid in his basement. It's just a stupid, low IQ, retard comment. I appreciate the engagement and you tuning in, but just so you know, you're retarded. Like, you're not smart. Maybe that was just rage bait, but like, it sounds like a dumb bitch comment. Like, it sounds like a dumb bitch comment. Someone said, fuck Gaza. Again, like, I could agree with the, fuck Hamas statement, maybe. You didn't say that, but I could agree if you said that, but it's like, why? Like, it's a random city. Like, I don't love random cities all around the world. Like, I guess whatever. It's not like you're saying like fuck like I think what you're implying though is fuck Palestinians, go Israel. Like fuck Israel. That's what we could say. Israel actually, like, what does Gaza do to take money from the United States? Just curious. What do the people in Gaza do to take money from the US? Well, why do we say fuck them? We should say fuck you to the people who are raping our wallets and raping our politics, which is the Israelis. We're going to go respond to, we got a few more comments and we got some YouTube ones. And I feel like there was a thread. Yeah, the thread is going to be the last one I think we read. The thread was good. Someone said we need a Nick Tucker collab like yesterday. Yep, we definitely need that. Thank you for commenting. Someone said AI is literally horrible and all companies that use it are simply just lazy and trying to save money, which is backfiring terribly due to the fact most people don't like AI. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I use it still too, but like, I agree. I think a lot of the companies who are using it for manufacturing are just absolute fucking assholes. Also, apparently we are very close to AI gaining sentience. Yep, we are very close, like less than 5 years from that. I fully agree with, and it probably already is, we probably just don't know about it. They don't tell us these things. I fully agree with you on just banning AI as a whole. It definitely can help with some things, but at this point, it's better to just ban it. Yeah, I mean, the problem is it's Pandora's box, and we've already opened it. It's really hard to close it. Now that we've already had it in our society, and people are getting used to the accommodations, it's really hard to scale that back. But I do agree, we should do everything we can to get it back in the box, because it is... I mean, it is scary. Like, one day they're going to make a video of me pushing someone down a flight of stairs, and they're going to say it's real. And maybe it was. Maybe. You guys will never... If I push someone down the flight of stairs, I'm going to say that's an AI video. Someone said... Same person commented, wrote, Israel's watching, be careful. Also, is the U.S. government trying to ethnically cleanse Gaza, or... Yeah, I mean, right now, actually... Okay, so... I think Trump had it with Bibi at this point. I think when Donald Trump in the White House said, in the Oval Office said, we're not going to allow Israel to annex the Gaza Strip, I think that was a direct message to Bibi in response to two things. In response to Bibi walking around Israel, literally, like, this was reported that he was saying that I own Donald Trump in American politics. And then also they bombed Qatar, which is like, as we can see, they're starting a Qatar air base in America. That was probably one of the reasons why they're doing that, and they had a leg up on Trump. But Trump has a close relationship with them. They even gifted him like a $400 million plane. So, yeah, I think the U.S. was complicit in trying to ethnically cleanse, but I think Donald Trump kind of changed his mind when he realized, like, fuck you, Bibi. And I don't think he's saying fuck Bibi, like, at least publicly. I just think that was a statement to him. But, yeah, I do think it's the definition of an ethnic cleansing to want to take, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people and move them somewhere else. That is the definition of it. So and when you say Israel's watching, yeah, they are. Like, they're probably just in that this is a green screen right here. Probably just in the Chrysler building right here, just ready to fucking snipe me, just JFK style. One day, you guys, I have like windows over there on my show, and one day you guys are just gonna see like a laser pop on my head as I'm filming. No, I live in a high rise. No one can get to me. Fuck off. I appreciate you commenting. I appreciate both your comments. Thank you for tuning in. I'll watch out for Israel. Don't worry. Don't worry. Here's what I'll say. I'll never kill myself. You hear that, Israel? Theo Von quote. I will never kill myself. I never will do it. If I ever kill myself, blame it on a minority or Israel. I don't know if I should show. I'm going to show it, whatever. I thought about it for a second. I have this on a post-it note under my keyboard, and I've had it there for years. And it just says, if a minority kills me, make it about race. If a minority kills me, make it about race. And I keep that under there. I keep that under there at all times. Because if I'm ever, like, just out and about and a black guy stabs me, I don't want my family to be like, it wasn't because he was a black guy. It was probably because he was a black guy. Let's be honest. Again, it's not all of them, but the ninjas, The real ones recognize the real ones, baby. Real ninjas recognize real ninjas. Buy your... I don't know why I'm promoting someone else's hat. I don't make any money off this shit. I actually paid for this hat. I just bought it and I got it in the mail today. But it's from Woman Propaganda and Myron Gaines. They released it. So W hat, the real ninjas hat. I hope I do not get demonetized for showing that hat, but we'll see. I'm hoping I don't. I'm really hoping I don't, but we'll see. This is the... Or actually, we'll read the thread last, because we got one more comment before that. That's like not a, there's not a thread to it, but the other one's like a full-on thread, so I'll read that last. But someone said, lately I've been seeing friends' suggestions and requests of some bombshell cuties with the Israeli or IDF. But dude, bombshell cuties? Brother. Don't give whores attention. Seriously, don't give whores attention. They're not... Get over... Like, that's my first piece of advice before I read the rest of this. Get over the lust. Don't, like... If you're using the term bombshell cuties, come on. Like... Come on. But he goes, requests of some bombshell cuties with the Israeli or IDF baddies on the socials. It appears their media campaign increases beginning. That is true. It's probably... Also, a lot of these girls are like fucking AI and they're like, like hairy-chested Mossad agents. Who are, just LARPing as girls online. It appears their social media campaign is increasing, but... TYT is pathetic in full clip, and you're clowning a clip on her impersonating or imitating a creep. But cut even shorter. Much love, but gotta call out a Democrat move when I see it. He's talking about when I was talking about the reacting to the Anna clip where she's like, ooh, like that fucking freaky clip. It was just a joke. That's what I was saying earlier in the show. It was just a joke. Like, I wasn't trying to shit on her that much. I was really just trying to, like, make it, like, it's the same as, like, when Candace was like, ooh, like that fucking... giving us those fuck me eyes. Candace, you've been a bad girl, sweetheart. But no, I appreciate your comment. Again, Democrat move, it was a joke. Let's come on, let's relax a little. I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate you always commenting, give me something to interact with. You're a great listener. I appreciate that. I do want to go on to this thread though, and then we'll go on to our YouTube comments to end the day. We don't have much left. I said this was going to be a short show, and we're at an hour and a half now, so what the fuck. Let's see. Someone said, fuck you for saying weed is bad and young men should stay away. I started smoking at 15. I own a snow removal company that brings in more than $250,000 in 6 months. Just because you couldn't prosper under its influence doesn't mean others can't. Does anybody remember Michael Phelps? Oh, brother. Weed is totally fine and very helpful medicinally, so shut the fuck up on that. Aside from that, love your show. Big dog, keep it up. Just know you're wrong sometime. Like, I love this switch up. It's like, fuck you, but I love your show. Like, that cracked me up a little bit. But I'm going to respond. So, I'm going to read, like, because I responded in the comments already, so I'm going to read my responses and I'll add some flavor to it. But I said... You are right, it can help medicinally, but using a substance every day is an addiction, and addiction is not good. Obviously, there are people who are able to be successful in smoke. I was one of them at the time. But you and all young men would be way more successful without daily use of a drug that alters your state of mind. Weed is very addictive and destructive to young men. And then I had a few more follow-up replies, and then there was more replies in there that I'll read in a second. But yeah, I mean, I want to say it's not like impossible to be successful if you're a stoner. It's just it's a lot less likely. Weed makes you less willing to take risks, more complacent, a lot more anxiety. It changes things about you. It changes your state of mind and your hormones. It changes a lot of things. So again, it's not me writing it off completely, and I do agree to the medical thing. Like, there are people who can heavily benefit of taking edible over taking like a fucking oxy. There's a lot of medical benefits that could help, but it's so abused by young men, and that's the real problem. And then they said, still think it's better than drinking. And I said, weed makes people less motivated to move forward in their current position in life. It limits your risk-taking ability and your recall with your memory. I will acknowledge this statement on my episode tomorrow is what I said. And then I said, convincing yourself that you are better off high every day is just coping. You are right, it's better for your health than drinking, But my argument would be it's worse for society. Drinking at least encourages social behavior, while smoking encourages isolationism. Sure, some people smoke together, but mainly stoners smoke by themselves, which is another really good point. Drinking is not like great, it's terrible for your health, but at least people are social when they're doing it. And he goes, I'll hear you on that. Take it with a grain of salt. Too much of a good thing is a bad thing. I've only been watching for a few weeks now, curious on your stance of psychedelics for medical use, such as mushrooms to help with PTSD or just general trauma. Seriously, man, love your show. Wish you even did it on the weekends. Appreciate that. And then he said, drinking also leads to violence. I swear I'm not trying to be devil's advocate here. If someone has medical reasons to smoke weed every day, are they still just convincing themselves and coping? I said, besides very, very severe issues, it's very rare that there's an instance in smoking every day. I had a little typo there, but it's very rare that there's an instance that smoking every day can help somebody, but I am not oblivious to the fact that weed is way better than a lot of things Big Pharma will prescribe. It's just way overused by young males. I think that mushrooms for medical purposes can be great for PTSD, but again, it's something that is easily abused, so it's something that people need to be very careful about. I just think we need to advertise things as they are. We can't say that these things are not addictive when they are very addictive. I'm going to start doing a Saturday episode, but was thinking of doing it subscribers only, like $3 a month or something. Let me know what you guys think of that. I was thinking about doing that for next month, doing a Saturday episode. Maybe I'll do some reaction and gaming streams with it, and play a lot of video games, and just do it for like $2-3 a month. I don't know. I know that seems like kind of a grift when I'm saying it out loud now, so I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about it. Let me know if you guys would pay for it. Let me know if you guys are willing to pay $2 to $3 a month to hear like 3 to 4 extra episodes a month, you know? If I can get like 100 of you guys to give me like $2 a month, that's nice. That's some extra Culver's money. That's some cheese curds, that's some fries, some milkshakes. That's gonna go a long way. And then I said, I appreciate you having this discussion and debate with me, especially after your initial reaction. And then someone else comments, which this was funny, they were just responding. They go, fuck you for saying that, love your show, keep it up. Just pointing out I don't know. Again, I'm not going to call it bipolar because I actually had a good conversation with this guy, but kind of funny. And then someone else goes, eat a bag of dicks, Zach. Come on, we don't have to take it. Zach, you don't have to eat a bag of dicks. I know he's saying it. You don't have to. If you want to apologize, you can, but you don't have to. You don't have to. We forgive you. We forgive. We listen, we learn, and we forgive, guys. This is a Catholic show. We are going to forgive. We're going to forgive you, Zach, for your insults and accusations. That's been all the, let me refresh, see if we got any, because I've been filming this for so long. Then we'll go to YouTube. Yeah, that's all the comments we got on here. Let's go over to YouTube, read the comments from the most recent episode, and then we will sign off for the day. It was really just one little thread I had with a guy, but he said, I don't think Walsh will be fired. He's the only cash cow that Daily Wire has now, but Walsh independent will be amazing, because I agree what you said. He's a secret Fuentes fan. I talked about that yesterday. I think Matt Walsh is definitely a secret groiper. He just doesn't want to lose his multi-millions he makes from Daily Wire. He's got a very comfortable family life, and he's nowhere close to as effective as some of the other guys in the space, so it makes sense. And then I said 100%, I bet they will keep him on the payroll just to keep him on their side for as long as possible. Imagine if he was independent and he made a movie where he went undercover and showed how corrupt Israel is like he did with his other movies. Then someone said, yeah, he'd have to say we need to nuke Israel before Ben would get rid of him, in my opinion. I don't think it'd have to go that far, but I kind of agree. He'd have to do something crazy. Because literally in his other video the other day, he said if you're on Israel's side, you're on the wrong side. I mean, that would be a fireable offense normally, but given the current state of Daily Wire and the fact that they're in a class action lawsuit and like they're about to go bankrupt, you guys get what I'm saying. But okay, then he goes, OMG, he would be perfect for that. I'd love to see him do something about Apex influence, but that'd probably be flying too close to the sun. Yeah, and then I replied he'd get JFK'd too quick. He would literally get fucking murked for that, murdered. That's been the entire show for the day, folks. I hope you guys have enjoyed. That was all the comments we responded to. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to the show. I enjoy responding to the comments. I enjoy doing the show. If you guys listen to this point in the show, I really appreciate you, and thank you for this. Thank you so much. I'm getting more comfortable in front of the camera, get more comfortable doing the show. I love talking about this stuff, pushing true American and Christian nationalism, spreading the word of Christ, spreading truth. That's what this entire show is about. It's about rebuilding America for the generations who didn't get it. We are the generations, Gen Alpha, Gen Z, Millennials, we are the generations who got fucking raped, and we deserve better, and it is our time to make the world better for future generations and give them what we didn't have. It is our time to not be selfish, but to be selfless. That is my encouragement to everyone over the weekend. I hope you guys do have a blessed weekend, a blessed Friday night. Do not drink and drive, but if you do, call your lawyer first. I'm going to sign off today. Thank you guys.